The Spoony one. We've talked about a lot of people on this channel so far, but Spoony really takes the cake this time. While Wings of Redemption, Shoenice, and Only Use Me Blade have always had their chances of being some of the highest paid online creators and squandered them, but Spoony literally threw it all away. I want you to look at his Patreon. This is how much Spoony is being paid on his Patreon each month. $420 a month, that's pretty good, right? Well, not when you compare it to what he used to make. In October 2014, Spoony was making $5 grand a month to make videos from his fans. This is something that most people will never see in an online career. So I bet you're wondering, what happened? How could somebody fall that far? Well, we're gonna go over a couple of the reasons why. Now, Spoony had created some big videos that were actually pretty good for the early days of YouTube. From his first video of playing Bayou Billy, where he reviews a game that nobody had heard of.
Another one of the most effective tactics is you'll see that Billy's kick always lands squarely in the guy's nuts. So there we just take turns kicking each other in the balls till one of us falls over.
To one of his biggest classics, his review of E.T., a notoriously bad game while he was high off painkillers after a root canal. These were some really interesting videos that garnered him a large audience. Now, Spoony was still a small fish in the big pond at the time. That was until Spoony was made an offer that he could not refuse. Meet Doug Walker. This man essentially handed Spoony and many other online personalities their entire careers. There is no way you can talk about Spoony's origins without talking about Doug, or better known as the Nostalgia Critic. The Nostalgia Critic had created some similar content to that of Spoony's videos, problem being that YouTube at the time wouldn't let you post content over 10 minutes, and would also copyright strike videos constantly. This led to Doug and a few others to create their own website, That Guy with the Glasses. Now, as big as Nostalgia Critic was, he wasn't able to drag all of his fan base over from YouTube alone. So what does Amanda do? Well, Doug went out and hired a large amount of other content creators, adding Spoony only 4 months after the founding of the website. That Guy with the Glasses, by the end of its run, had seen over 140 different contributors, each of which gained a popularity from being around the other ones, kind of like PKA, but to a much bigger scale. Personally, I would watch a couple of these people 10 years ago, and when I was done watching my favorites, it wouldn't be uncommon to watch another person that you're unfamiliar with. That being said, Spoony had become one of the heavy hitters of the website. As a matter of fact, he was in the big three. The others being the Nostalgia Critic himself and Linkara. The three of them even had a name for themselves, as a matter of fact.
We're looking forward to it.
Goody.
Spoony was at the top of the world. He got to go to events like E3 and SGC.
And that word, betrayal!
What?
Betrayal! Betrayed me! This game sucks! It is nothing to do with XCOM. Nothing! Nothing!
I think this is the birth of Angry Spoony.
Nothing to do with XCOM. Like the first thing they did, they were like, okay, here's XCOM, it's got aliens.
And by this point, Spoony had come to the belief that his E-Celeb status was enough to launch him into stardom on a TV show or a movie. However, Spoony had gained the celebrity mindset a little early, acting crazy in public and talking to people like he was huge. As entertaining as Spoony was, his acting is pretty bad. Don't believe me? Check this out for yourself.
I have had enough of you! Look, could you at least tell me what the gun part of the gunblade actually does?
Now, this is entertaining if you know what you're getting into. You're getting a cheap review that both focuses on the subject material itself and the characters from the website interacting. It was almost like they had their own little Avengers. There are people who would have killed to be in a Nostalgia Critic or Spoony video as an extra. So, what could go wrong? Here you have a hard-working Spoony that has the world in his hands. Everybody wants to work with him. He gets to go to all these events that hundreds of thousands of people dream of getting to attend. And you were on That Guy with the Glasses. Keyword, were. So, Spoonie had made a joke about tying someone up in his basement on Twitter. And a month later, another member of the website got offended about this tweet. This was the cause of Spoonie's leaving the site after a disagreement with the management. This caused a few things. There were people online that sided with Spoonie and completely left That Guy with the Glasses to follow Spoonie onto his now defunct site. The Spoonie Experiment. And he left Spoonie free to do whatever he wanted, when he wanted. The world was his oyster. It's now known the management on That Guy with the Glasses was notoriously abusive to their content creators. So now that Spoonie's free, what does he do? Well, the short answer, nothing. Spoonie just stops making content that his fans are looking for, and only uploads live streams and 40-minute wrestling videos that his fans hated. See, with That Guy with the Glasses, Spoonie was given deadlines that he had to fulfill. Now that he was free to do whatever he wanted, he decided to take the lazy way out. Spoonie was kicked off that website 9 years ago, and surprisingly, even though his upload schedule slowed down, his Patreon kept going up, with loyal Spoonie fans putting money down on his Patreon, just so that Spoonie could go full time. Instead, it caused this.
Somehow, you guys have reached the Patreon goal where it was listed that I would start work on a movie. And I was blown away by this. It was like, you guys are the best fans in the world. Oh my god.
Spoonie slowed down video production in order to focus on this movie 7 years ago. To this day, there still is no movie, and Spoonie's last live stream was over a year ago. His website is down, and he actually looks like he's dead. I'm not the best person at math, but after doing a couple of calculations, he has an average of 784 tweets a month since he opened up his Twitter account in 2009. Spoonie could have had it all, but instead he threw it away so that he could roleplay as his dog on Twitter. The most surprising part about his Patreon is that he's not making $0. He hasn't updated his Patreons in over 5 years. I have no sympathy for this man. In getting research and footage for this video, I saw someone that I used to look up to, the old Spoonie, who would do anything for entertainment. Whether you were watching him play with action figures, whether you were watching him play Ultima, or even SWAT 4, it was always an entertaining experience. The guy that's on the channel now is not the same person I saw all those years ago. But Spoonie isn't the only person we talked about in this story, is he? What happened to the others?